Hi, hello, and welcome to Kraken's campaign, episode 4. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Paul, I'm 45, and I am single. This campaign is me going out into the big bad world after 5 years of being single and just kind of seeing what's out there and documenting it to show that it's not as hard as some people think, but also not as easy as some people think. It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. But we are here. We are going to document it either which way and hopefully share some experiences. Hopefully inspire some people who are a bit nervous about doing things to try doing things, because sometimes it helps to see somebody who has just gone through it. There are other episodes giving backstory, but we're just going to do a little bit of an update. First off, Valentine's has come and gone. And it was pretty uneventful. It does get a little bit sad sometimes whenever Valentine's comes around, because as much as I enjoy being single and relishing the freedom that comes with that, sometimes you do get a little bit sad around the holidays. But February 14th tends to be the last date, and then it's just kind of okay from here on out, apart from the odd instance. But society doesn't keep nudging you and going, by the way, you're single. Do you know that you're single? Maybe you should be aware that you're single, because if you weren't single, you could buy stuff for people, and we like it when you buy stuff. So, I had talked to you all about maybe buying flowers and giving out roses on Valentine's Day to random people, in order to initiate conversations, maybe give out my card if somebody was interested in going for a coffee. I put it on Threads and got absolutely lambasted for that idea. So I deleted it very quickly, because some people were like, this is fucking creepy. Like, I like you as a person, but this really creeped me out. I was shocked that people were so vehement against it, but I think it's sometimes I forget that as a romantic, sometimes it's just not practical. So I spent the day. I went into town. I bought a few pairs of jeans for myself as a treat, so that I could wear them to Deftones, which was yesterday. And then I went to a coffee shop with a book, just read for a little bit. Didn't really see anybody who was also single doing that kind of stuff. There were a lot of couples though. So it was a little bit rough for that as well. I think sometimes whenever you're single and you see couples, it gets a little bit like, ugh, really? Right in front of my hardback. But it's fine. They're obviously out celebrating their day, so I'm not going to begrudge that. It does remind me why I'm doing all of this. Last weekend, my friend Claire was over from Florida. So if you're watching this, hi Claire. We had a very frank discussion about quite a lot of stuff, about being single and enjoying being single and the freedom that you have in flirting. And I think it gave me quite a confidence boost, to be honest, because there were some situations that came up when we talked about it, where I felt kind of cute and kind of hot and sexy, and it's easy to forget that as well. Because I'm not the type of guy who has like arrogance for days. I was raised to be very humble, play myself down, and I think with all of the stuff that I went through in the past, it kind of ground me down a little bit as well. So Claire, being the absolute angel that she is, was quite open to being like, who is it that you're sort of attracted to? What kind of people are you attracted to? What kind of energy? But you have skills, like you make the eye contact, the smile, like there are ways and means for you to just spread your wings, and I don't think you realize just how attractive you can be to the people that you're interested in. So Claire was wonderful like that, and I very much appreciated that conversation. It helped. We talked about like flirting techniques and things that I could do at a bar. But yeah, also one thing randomly, which I should do, and it makes sense, is I should get like a cigarette lighter. I should always have one on me, because At least then if I'm in a situation where someone attractive approaches me and asks for a light, I can be like, hey, I actually have a light. Because I have been in instances in social situations where I have been asked and had to say no. They go off then to find someone else, and I'm like, yeah, I should remember that actually. So that would be a kind of nice thing to have as an icebreaker. I don't mind smokers. It genuinely doesn't bother me one way or another. I really don't care. It's not something I would consider as like something that I would find unattractive. In fact, I would find it slightly attractive if it's being done in the right way. If it's with like an air of confidence and that kind of stuff. It's absolutely grand. It's actually how my dad met my mum. Was asking for a light for his cigarette. They were at the cigarette machine back in mid-70s. Yeah, about the mid-70s. But yeah, so that was sweet. I had a wonderful time. I also randomly bumped into someone and hit it off very, very well as far as like conversation's concerned, because we both had the same hyperfixation of vampires and interviewed the vampire TV show. We talked easily for like an hour. There were other things, but then it turned out that they were from America. And it's always the way. Why do I always connect with people who are geographically inconvenient? It's just like, when are you going back home? And she's, tomorrow. Okay. But yeah, maybe as a friend, they plan to come back to Ireland anyway, so we can meet up and chat and whatnot. But it was funny. But it reminded me, whenever being single and whenever I'm talking to someone, if I can find something that we can both like nerd out about, I will never be stuck for conversation. Whenever I'm too in my head about a conversation with someone, like, am I saying the right things? Am I asking them enough questions? Am I talking about myself too much? All of the things that very quickly came up within speed dating that you have to juggle very, very quickly. In a relaxed situation where you're taking your time, I was like, okay, I can do this. This is kind of cool. Okay, this is new to me. But it was a very fun weekend and a fun evening. I don't socialize that much, and I probably should. But one thing that I'm noticing with that social situation, as well as with Deftones, is that there's an age difference that's starting to come up where I'm meeting people in situations, social situations. They're very much younger than me, where they're in their like mid-20s. And that's 20 years younger than me. That's, no, that's not cool. I know that there will be people who will always argue about that. Men, very, very specifically, will always argue that that's okay. It's not to me. It's not my preference. I prefer women, not girls. So I would, because I was thinking about this with the dating apps and stuff as well, like what kind of age group I would fall into. Because with the speed dating, whenever it came to the first evening, it was 40 to 55. And I noticed the generational gap very, very heavily there. But also, as another friend of mine mentioned, I'm quite a young 45. I have a lot of mannerisms, behaviors, and interests that a 45-year-old wouldn't necessarily be into. So I think that's why I sometimes find it very difficult to connect, because there are 45-year-olds who have like just out of marriage, but they've got like 3 kids, and you know, everything's just been looking after the kids. I don't have much in common with those people. So generally, folks who are younger than me, say like 35 and up, haven't had the kids or have taken the similar sort of life path as I have. So we're nerding out about our own little conversations, and they understand things like algorithms and social media and Patreon. But yeah, I just find that generally it's a little bit easier speaking to someone sort of from like 35 up. But the social situations that I tend to find myself in now, I randomly start talking to someone and then they go, oh yeah, I'm in my mid 20s. And I'm like, fuck no, no, that's not okay. Um, like, I remember talking to, I think it was my brother about it. I was saying I lost my virginity whenever I was 19. I do not want to date somebody who could potentially, in some weird, twisted, fucked up world, be my kid. I can't, because it was a one night stand and then she left and I never heard from her. But in my head, there's an image of me going, right, okay, she went off, but for all I know, she was pregnant and I didn't know about it. And she had the kid and the kid's growing up and the kid comes over here and they're trying to find like an old boy. Spoilers. But if you've seen Old Boy, that kind of situation where you're just like, oh, wonderful, I've connected with this person, and then it's like, by the way, we should do like bloodline tree, and they're like, oh yeah, my dad, he worked in a coffee shop and met my mum when they were 19. No. So yeah, if for no other reason than that, I don't want to date someone who could have potentially been my fucking kid. So these are the weird thoughts that I have. So I would prefer to date someone who's sort of 35 and up. That would make sense in my head. Because they're still an adult. And at this point, I mean, it's someone who's in their 20s and I'm thinking, you're still just a child. You're just a baby. But yeah. So I do have a speed dating night arranged on the 19th, which is in 2 nights. Yep, 2 nights from now. So Thursday evening. And that age group is 35 to 45. So that's the age group that I think I would probably have more in common with. We shall see. I will report back. It could be that it's just the speed dating audience in general may not be my thing. But I promise that I will give everything like 3 tries. I feel like 3 is a good number. So the first speed dating was fun, but the age group was, I think, very much off. So we'll try number 2. If speed dating 2 doesn't go well, we will try one more, and then I think I will probably just start leaving it out. And that I'll not try that. I'll try other things. I do also have plans for this weekend to start taking some pictures for dating apps. So getting some outfits together, taking myself out to different places, taking some pictures, just to freshen it up, because the odd gym selfie is not gonna cut it. If you want to meet anyone on these apps, you're gonna need a more up-to-date picture. I don't want to be accused of like catfishing with something from like 2 years ago when I really liked the occasion. I'm not gonna put up pictures from like Thailand or Bali. I even look at those pictures when they're like 6-7 years ago and thinking, that does not look like me. I feel like since COVID, I've kind of come into looking more like myself, or at least feeling like I look like myself. I'm sure there's a psychological explanation for it, but I feel now is as good a time as any, and I should refresh my pictures. So that's the plan. It is also Pancake Tuesday, which brings me to one of my favorite times of year, because it was a night whenever I had one of my best dates ever. But first, I think I'm going to need some pancakes. Okay, this is much better. So it was our second date. We'd met a couple of days beforehand. Went for cocktails. We went to Jack the Ripper escape room. It all feels like such a lifetime ago. But then I mentioned that Pancake Tuesday was coming up. Is she going to be making some pancakes? And she'd never heard of it before. So, being the guy that I am, I went immediately to Tesco's, the supermarket here, bought a pan, all of the ingredients, found out her favourite wine, turned up and said, okay, we're making pancakes. It was kind of impromptu. It was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. But there was a part of me that was thinking, if an American doesn't know about Pancake Tuesday, which I think it is more of a UK thing, but I know that probably not from New Orleans. New Orleans with the Shrove Tuesday, Ash Wednesday. I know that they do their own version of Pancake Tuesday. A lot more dramatic than this. But yeah, I turned up with all of the ingredients and said, we're making pancakes. I didn't know what type of pancake she would want. If she was more of a savory or a sweet person. So this one, obviously you've seen the ingredients. But I also brought bananas, peanut butter, chocolate chips. There was another. Peach. I might have cut up a few chunks of like peach and sprinkled it in as part of the making of it. But we made easily 16 pancakes. We did not eat most of them. But it was fun. We made all of the stuff. We made the pancakes. And then we sat down just opposite ends of a table. I think she was on the sofa. I was on cushions on the floor. And we just ate pancakes. And then whenever we finished, we went up. We had some more. We changed the toppings and stuff to it. And that was the night, pretty much. Like, we're talking, I think it was like 7 o'clock, maybe, I was at her place. Because we were working till about 5, both of us at the time. So, it was about 7 o'clock. And I think about 2 o'clock, I was just making my way home. Left most of the ingredients at her place so that she could make some more pancakes if she wanted to. Like there was some pancake batter left over even just from making this. This is a lot for me. But yeah, it was I think whenever it comes to dating, I always find that I want that connection where we just kind of lose track of time. Just talking nonsense and randomly like catching each other stern, that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, we sat up most of the night just chatting, eating pancakes, drinking her favorite wine. It had a cat on it, I remember that. And yeah, one of my favorite nights, and that was 6 years ago. Well, if she's out there, I hope that every time it comes around the Pancake Tuesday, she remembers it and has a little smile to herself, because I do. Anyway, that was a fun time. Every time it comes around the Pancake Tuesday, it always reminds me of her in a strange way. I suppose in a good way. It was one of those relationships where, I've touched on it before, but we didn't end with any kind of bitterness or anger. It was very mature. There was logic and reason behind it. It was a very refreshing kind of experience, because I think quite often whenever we go through breakups and stuff, we can get into situations where we're angry with the person, or maybe it's easier to get over them whenever you're angry. It did take me a while to get over her. More than the time that we spent together, but, you know, that's just logic in the heart having its own little argument. And you can't heal from heartbreak by logicking your way out of it. That is a word. By reasoning your way out of it. But yeah, fun memories. So, in summary, we've got speed dating coming up. We've got some pictures for setting up a dating profile, maybe in the next week or two. We have done some social things and realized that the age group is not the vibe, so it's not just a case of going to a bar and meeting someone. That if I do meet someone, that I need to make sure that I continue to be my authentic self, because if we connect on some sort of nerdy level, it breaks down any kind of reservations in my head, and I'm not overthinking things, that I have to keep reminding myself that I am quite attractive, even if I don't feel it sometimes. But I have wonderful friends in my life who will remind me of that too, so they will encourage me and nudge me in the right direction. I will continue to have business cards on me in case I'm in a situation where I do meet someone in public or whatever. We didn't do the Valentine's thing, but I had a fun Valentine's anyway, just doing my own nerdy stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will have another episode next week, and I'll let you know how the speed dating goes. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. I love your faces. Please look after yourselves, drink your water, take your meds, and I'll see you next time.